In this week's chapter of Bleach, the end is near, as the leader of the Quincy army has taken back all of his power and is planning to envelop the entire universe in his dark energy, destroying Soul Society and the real world. This was a pretty interesting chapter of Bleach. In fact, I don't even really think it was the chapter or the story itself that was interesting. It was more that first color page, which was letting the readers know that the Bleach manga series is going to be ending very, very soon. Now, we've all known that this is going to be the final arc of the series, and is typical at this point for manga customs. Whenever a series is about to come to an end, they announce it when it gets really close to that point. But what I really liked about that color page in this week's chapter of Bleach is that it didn't actually tell us how many chapters we had left. They intentionally left that blank as to sort of mess with our minds a little bit. It's also a really great tool to get people to continue reading until they wrap up this entire story. And you know what? I think at this point, the Bleach series really needs to wrap everything up, because the last couple of chapters really just haven't been all that exciting. Ichigo getting his ass handed to him, Oryu Ishida preaching the good word of the power of friendship, and basically just a lot of people standing around looking cool, but not really doing too much. While this can be a feast for the eyes, it's not actually a feast for upstairs. The story just really isn't all that entertaining at this point, and you can kind of see where it's going. You see, now that the Quincy leader has taken back all of his power and he's starting to cover everything in shadow, it's only a matter of time before all of these powers go back to Ichigo, or they're spread amongst all of him and his friends as they have their big final assault on the Quincy leader. I have a feeling that's how things are going to go down, but that's simply just speculation. Who knows? The series could end with one hell of a raw twist where everybody just ends up getting killed. I don't think the author has the balls to pull that off, but it's definitely going to go into the power of friendship direction. You could see that a lot with Oryu Ishida, who is still just being taught to death by Haschwalth. Oh my lord, can this battle just go ahead and end already? You know, it wouldn't even be bad if it just wasn't the same rhetoric that I've seen, like, millions of times. Like, Oryu Ishida is basically preaching the good word of Naruto at this point. That is to say, he's preaching the word of the power of friendship, and how he's so proud of the fact that he's become so similar to Ichigo and Inoue and Chad, and all of their other friends who would do anything in their power to help each other out. It's really schmaltzy, and honestly doesn't really motivate me to want to continue to like his story. I'm just sort of ready for all of it to wrap up, and before Haschwalth even finishes off Oryu Ishida, we have Gerard Valkyrie, the motherfucking miracle, just plow right through the top of this roof, and you can see that he's like transformed into this skeleton. Either he's losing his powers, or he's continuing to be beaten back. The rest of the chapter is basically just the Quincy leader holding on to Ichigo's face, grabbing all of his power back, and letting him know, whenever you feel comfortable, whenever you feel like you're happy, I'm going to take that away from you and kill you and all of your friends. And it all ends with him just enveloping everything in shadow, and that's pretty much it. So what's the rundown on this week's chapter of Bleach? Where are Ryuken and Isshin? Where are they? Why does this series always insist on introducing characters, having them stand around and look cool, and never do anything with them? I am actually starting to get pissed. The Bleach series totally follows the rules of cops in a horror film. They don't show up until the last minute. Call this suspenseful storytelling or call it lazy storytelling. At the end of the day, it's really not all that inventive. And honestly, I'm shocked that they're going to go ahead and start to end the series this quickly, because I thought there was going to be a lot more to wrap up in the story. There are so many other characters to get to before we get to that final battle with Ichigo. And Ichigo's just been disappointing. This whole final arc, he's just been constantly beaten. Every single time he gets a brand new weapon, it does absolutely nothing. The final battle with the ultimate final villain of the series kicks off, and what happens? Ichigo gets his ass handed to him. And we all know it's only a matter of time before he goes Super Saiyan, Hollow, Quincy, Full Bringer, whatever the hell his abilities are at this point, and takes down the Quincy leader. It's going to happen, alright? It's just a matter of waiting for it at this point, especially now that we know the series is going to be ending pretty quickly. We're at chapter 680. Are they going to pull a Naruto on us and give us another 20 chapters of material? Honestly, I think they should be able to wrap up everything at this point in 10 chapters. Just get through it at this point. That's kind of the feeling I have with Bleach at the moment. The silver lining here is that if the manga series finishes up, maybe we'll get that final season of the anime, which I honestly feel this series could work a lot better as an anime, if only for the voice acting and the music and the animated action scenes. It's just going to breathe so much life into this final arc. Not to mention, there's lots of room for expansion. I still want to learn about the history of the Quincy leader, but we're not getting any of that shit yet. And the way the storytelling is going, we might not get it at all. It's kind of annoying, to be perfectly honest. Now, I don't like doing negative reviews, which is to say I'm not proud of the fact that I didn't like this week's chapter of Bleach. I really, really wanted to like it. But frankly, I'm just getting kind of fed up with some of the storytelling elements and the fact that they're constantly introducing all these cool new characters and not doing anything with them. What's the deal with Orihara? What's going on with Kenpachi? Is Aizen still in a chair? Are the Fullbringers coming in? All I know is we're getting closer to the final battle of the series, and I don't know if there's going to be enough room to actually include all of those characters in these final chapters, no matter how many they're going to be. What I will say is, the biggest strength of Bleach still continues to be its artwork. It's still a really nice looking manga to look at. The characters all look really awesome. In particular, the Quincy leader this week. He looked so cool when he started to spread his dark Reiatsu all over the place. I also really love the scene where Gerard Valkyrie crashed into the building that Uryu and Hash Browns are fighting at, because he looked awesome as a big creepy skeleton. I'm curious as to really what the hell's going on with him. I'm guessing that the power of all of the Quincy's are eventually going to go back to him as well, because the Quincy leader makes it painfully clear that I don't care about any of you guys anymore. I'm about to hit the reset button on this bitch. And you know what? The reset button is exactly what the Bleach series needs at this point. They need to wrap things up and just finish it up. Be done with it. Simple as that. So, this was an interesting chapter. It came with a big announcement that the Bleach series is coming to an end, which I think is what most people are going to be talking about with this week's chapter of Bleach. So, I didn't really care for it. I don't really like the direction it's going into, and I have a feeling it's going to go into a very stereotypical and predictable area. So, I'm going to give this chapter right here a 3 out of 5. Just an average chapter of Bleach, but Bleach fans might get some enjoyment out of it, and I would love to hear from you guys what you thought about this week's chapter, and when you think the Bleach series is going to end, what do you want to see from the rest of the series before it comes to a conclusion? Do you want to see the anime version return? Please tell me in the comments section below. You guys are kick-ass! Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like it, share it with your friends, and comment on the video. If you would like to, make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be able to see all of our latest anime and manga reviews, our weekly podcast show. It's all pretty cool stuff. Thank you again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby!